If you're new to building apps for Apple platforms, the difference between Swift and SwiftUI can be confusing. So I'll explain to you what they are and how they work together. Swift is a programming language, and its primary use case is to build native apps specifically for Apple platforms. And it's Apple's modern programming language, because before Swift was introduced in 2014, we were building our apps in Objective-C, which is a programming language that has been around since the 80s. To put it simply, Swift handles your app's logic and data. For example, if you're fetching information from a server, like getting the latest weather data, the code to communicate with that server is written in Swift. Or if you're doing calculations, like adding up the total expenses in an expense tracker app, or creating models for your data so it can be used throughout your app. This is what we call the business logic of your app, and that's written in Swift. Think of the business logic like the engine or the electrical system in a car. They're the internals that make the car work. So if the Swift programming language is like the engine, think of SwiftUI like the exterior of the car, the body style, the coat of paint, the rims. It's how your app looks. So SwiftUI is a framework used for building the user interface of your app. It's what you use to create screens, buttons, lists, forms, animation, just the overall visuals of your app. And SwiftUI is written in Swift. I mean, it's right there in the name. So they go hand in hand, they work together. Again, think of the Swift programming language like the engine for the car, and SwiftUI is what the car looks like. Let's take another look at the weather app to give you an example. So we had to go out and fetch the latest up-to-the-minute weather data from a server. We had to model our data, structure it so it was nice and easy to display. All that was done in the Swift programming language. Now how the screen looks, the big temperature at the top, the horizontal scrolling of the time of days, the list of days below with the temperature gauges, the colors of the screen, text size, font, boldness, the weather icons. Again, how the app looks, that is all SwiftUI. And using Swift and SwiftUI is the modern way to create apps for Apple platforms. SwiftUI was released in 2019, so it's relatively new, but it gets updates and new features year after year and continuously improves. And if you're building your app with AI coding agents, I highly recommend you learn what the building blocks of SwiftUI are and what they do. For example, understanding that it's a V-stack that causes views to be vertically stacked on top of each other. And the other building blocks like H-stack, scroll views, forms, navigation stacks, toolbars. Now this doesn't mean that you have to learn to code, but knowing what those things are and what they do will be very helpful because it will allow you to speak SwiftUI to your AI coding agent. And if you can do that, even just a little bit, you're gonna have a much better time and get way better results when you're building with AI. Keep an eye out on our channel. We're gonna have a lot more content on building native Swift apps for Apple platforms with AI. And if you're new to this world of building apps for Apple platforms, Bitrig is a Mac app that helps you build high quality, premium, native Swift apps with AI. And it's actually built by the co-creators of SwiftUI that used to be at Apple. So it integrates amazingly well with the first-party Apple frameworks and specializes in Swift and SwiftUI. The team ships updates weekly, so the product keeps getting better and better and better. Check it out at bitrig.com.